sure. Yeah. Check, hold up. Okay.
You might want to turn the volume up for this lot. A whole paddock of racing pony cars with big engines and even bigger names from the American Trans Am scene from the late 1960s. Actually, there's one that snuck in that never raced, but the 1977 Pontiac Firebird Trans Am did star in Smokey and the Bandit, and if it's good enough for Burt Reynolds, it's good enough for us. Burt's Firebird's two predecessors, the 69 and the 73, did compete, the latter with a 7.5-litre V8. Not that such a huge engine was any guarantee of success. If you want to race a winner, try the Boss Mustang and the AMC Javelin, all Trans Am champions in one form or another. Lastly, the car with the very bestest name here, the 1970 Mercury Cougar Eliminator. If you're here looking for delicately balanced namby-pamby European sports cars, you are in the wrong place.
All the cars are beautiful cars. Oh, let's see. Oh, why is the AMC? Oh, she's not recommended. Okay. Let's see. Usually I try to look at the acceleration handling, because your speed's not going to mean much or anything else. Just if you can get up to speed and handle your speed, most likely to win the race. Let's see. 4272, 476. So far, Mustang's best with handling. That's fine with me. I'm definitely a Mustang person. The other cars are still beautiful cars, though. Like, if it wasn't about handling, like, it was just for picking a cool car, I would have a hard time choosing them. I hate that it's not giving, like, there's not many options for stock colors, but that makes sense. Most cars will normally only come in a couple colors anyways. But let's just stick with blue. Actually, yeah. Dude, this special color still got on this at all? That car art looks nice on any car. I've already done it, so I don't want to do it again. Ooh. Matte carbon fiber doesn't look too bad. I'm trying to get the camera to change. You can't control it yourself. Yeah, I don't think that looks bad, but let's see. Go chrome with it. I think there actually is a chrome Boss Mustang in existence. Ooh, I covered that. Polished copper? Yep, might as well. I don't think it looks too bad.
This is your 1969 Ford Mustang Boss 302.
No, I think I have a couple Hot Wheels of the 69 Mustang. I'm not sure though. For those who don't know, I am a Hot Wheel collector, well, diecast in general. But
we now return to the Brickyard, the iconic Indianapolis Motor Speedway in Indiana.
Classic track. But yeah, for anyone who doesn't know, tonight we are fueled by Dubby, which Dubby is a longtime partner for me as a creator. I believe I've been partnered with them since 24, and I believe I started creating content. Creating content in the long term, well, not like as my job, because I don't make any money from this, but actually making content on a more serious note at the end of 23, I believe. So, yeah. But anyways, tonight I'm drinking S'mores, which is their milk energy drink. It's it's a mix. Ooh, it looks really good on this car. I'm glad I choose it. Anyways, it's a mix that caffeine makes you put in your milk. But it tastes like s'mores. Unfortunately, I don't have it mixed the way I like it. I like to mix it with chocolate milk. I think it pulls out the flavors a lot better. So if I just have it mixed with regular 2%, it's still good though. It's still, gives me awake, helps me pay a bit more attention. And anyone who doesn't know about W, they are out of California, small company type deal. They try to release a flavor every week, I believe. At least that's their goal right now, is to release one every week. God damn it. But no matter what, they always release one about once every month or so. They have a whole huge collection of different shakers, both metal and plastic. They have a lot of different flavors of energy drinks for those people that like to drink energy drinks instead of coffee, or also coffee. Unfortunately, they don't make any coffee for those who do prefer coffee over the energy drinks. But that could always be a flavor we might be able to make one day with them. Since I'm partnered with them, once I reach enough sales using my code Detective Waffle, all caps, no spacing, we can work with them and create merch, our own custom flavor, shakers, stuff like that, which I think would be cool. Yeah, if you guys want to check them out, it'll save you 10% on your order, and then I also get a little tiny kickback from it, which always helps. I unfortunately haven't made anything from my code so far, because the only one buying W has been me. And unfortunately, my sales don't count towards my. Unfortunately, me using my own code doesn't count towards the sale count with my code. So. Man, I love the Mustang, but I think I chose the slowest car. That's alright. No, I gotta redo that. I'm getting off that corner too slow. But also, anyone who doesn't know, I do have a giveaway going on in my Discord server. It's for it's for $10. You get Amazon gift card, send to your PayPal, your Cash App, whatever. I think I have set for 4 winners right now. It ends in 2 months or so, like that. Yeah. Also, if anyone does use my code for W, and you can send me proof, I will give you an extra entry into the giveaway. Which I actually didn't realize. Well, I didn't think about that before, but I'm gonna make that an official thing starting tomorrow. But yeah. Ooh, I'm in third. Can I get to first place from this point? I might be able to. Cause all the cars are right here. Come on. So for anyone who doesn't know why I'm playing such an old game, I'm working on completing the game for all the races, like the normal races, and then I plan to go through and complete all the gold events, and then after everything's fully said and done, I plan to go back through and maybe redo the races if there's any interest for that, but do them with no help at all. And then, yeah, that's only if there's any interest for it. I do own the game on disc, so I can always revisit it at any point in time. But once we're done with this, I plan to get back into Call of Duty, more specifically Warzone, and Black Ops 7. Cause I bought Black Ops, but then I really haven't played it much. But we'll see. I got tired of Call of Duty. I really did. You play it every day for like a year, or MW2, and then you play it like every day right when MW3 came out. Like I was in the top. I know I was in like the top top 15%. It was definitely below, like even higher up in the ranks of that, playing that. But you know, playing games that often for that long, at least for me, it got tiring. It's the same stuff all the time. Oh shoot! Don't get me wrong, I miss playing DMZ. I miss playing the open world of MW3 Zombies. I do miss those. And actually, I've been thinking about doing a DMZ stream, but there's not much going on unless you're one, running into hackers, or two, you are a hacker because the game's no longer supported, no new content, stuff like that. I came so close to getting first place in this race. But I still got gold. Tomorrow might be my last day at my auction house job for anyone that's been around for a little bit. Because the company that runs the auction house actually runs another place like right up the street from me, way closer than the auction house. And they're looking for somebody to work full time there. So I told them, I let them know I was interested, so I'm just waiting on a follow up for that.
We now head back to scenic Southern California for an event at the Temporary Street Circuit in Long Beach.
I don't like this track that much, but it's okay. Anyways, back to what I was saying. It would be 7 a.m. till 3:30 p.m. Monday through Friday. But it's full time, so that's definitely like, let's see, that'd be 3, 5. Okay, that's 8-hour days. That'd be 40 hours a week, which I've been wanting so badly. And it's $18 an hour, so I'll be making some really good money. So hopefully I can get a new car, get my first car a lot quicker. I should be able to afford the insurance on it, any maintenance, the fuel, something like that. Like, I'm really hoping I get this job because it will have me set for, I won't say life, but it'll have me set financially for a long time. And it'll help me actually open my own business like I've been wanting to have talked about before. I'll actually be able to invest in myself for once. I'll be able to finish a lot of projects I've been working on and so forth. Like, shit. It'll be so helpful if I get the job. Like I said, I'm just waiting on the follow-up. Damn it. Hopefully I hear back from them tomorrow. Tomorrow's Thursday. Because if I do, then I'll be starting on Friday, most likely. I told them I can start as early as Friday. I still want to have at least one more day at the auction house. The auction house is fun. You get to drive cars you normally wouldn't be able to drive. Especially if you're not in the higher tax brackets. I'm in the lowest tax bracket. Like, I had to drive a Porsche. It was obviously a little messed up. Like, you could tell what person that owned it beat it. Like, the headliner was falling, some of the trim inside was coming off, the engine had a weird noise going on with it. brakes were really, really touchy, like not a good kind of touchy. um, but yeah, and I also got to drive a uh, electric VW. That one was pretty cool. I've gotten to drive like a Jeep Gladiator, the bunch of different Rams and Ford trucks, a whole bunch of really cool different Jeeps too, and then a bunch of the same vehicles and whatnot or something, stuff. But I like working there, I really do. But unfortunately, if I get the full-time job, I'll be quitting there to do the full-time job. But I might still be able to get to drive some cars at the full-time job. But the main thing is, you're walking around the lot and you're scanning cars. You're scanning cars, figure out where they're located and stuff. So you gotta be okay with walking, which I am. I mean, I've walked 8 hours straight once, so I'll be fine. Do I regret walking the 8 hours? I mean, kinda. That wasn't a lot of pain afterwards. Like, not mentally, but like, my body was in a ton of pain. It felt like my foot was split open. It felt like my hips and knees and ankles were just going to give out. Like, the physical exhaustion after that long of a walk was definitely noticeable, but that was 8 hours straight on uneven terrain, going in a semi-straight direction without any hydration or anything like that. So that's definitely where all the physical exhaustion came from. I know this full-time job, I would have a break somewhere in there, and I know I would have water. I would actually be prepared to do walking, whatever else for the whole day. So when I walked those 8 hours straight, I was mentally tired because it was like, shoot, I want to say it had to have been late, so it was probably around 9 p.m. And then by the time I was done walking, it was probably around 6 a.m. Wait, no, that's not right. Hang on. 9, yeah, 12. Just 3 hours there, and then so it would have been around 5 o'clock. But I know I walked a little over 8 hours, so I might have left out at 10 p.m. I'm not sure though. I got to see a lot of stuff I normally don't see. I got to see a fox at night. It came up to me and everything. It's really cool. Got to see how dead the air, like, places are at night when no one's awake. I'm about to restart this race. Let's just restart now. I do wish I wore better shoes then, because I know I was wearing my boots. They didn't have very good insoles. Oh. That'd be so good. I wish it was in chocolate milk. Like this job, if I get it, I'll definitely be investing in walking shoes and insoles over the boots that I currently own and wear. The only footwear I've owned for the past, I want to say 3 years has been boots. But I think it's been a little longer than that. Hang on. So if I started, it might be 4 years. No, I don't know. I've been wearing boots for a long time, or boot-like footwear. Like I wore a pair of Morel's shoes, but they had a really tall sole, so they're a lot like boots. The only reason why I got rid of those is because I wore them so much they wore straight through the sole, and they're starting to back talk and everything. then the boots I got after those, I only just got rid of them this year. Because the soles were worn through, there was holes in them and stuff. We weren't back talking, but the soles were done. They were done. I'm not a cobbler, so I'm not gonna try and put new soles on them. And then the boots I have now, I've been wearing those for 2 months now. 2.5 maybe. Wait, it's April now, right? Yeah. February, yeah, but between 2 and 2.5 months I've been wearing them. They're nice so far. They're not back talking. Soles are wearing not fast at all. They're work boots, so they have a toe cap. They're anti-slip. I think they're oil resistant too. They're cheap ones. They're really cheap boots. I think they're $60 maybe. They're called work shoes, I think. I think that's what the sole on them say. But I think it's funny because every time you step in water or mud or something, or even in the snow, you're leaving an imprint that says work shoes. I don't know. They've been holding up so far. The first pair I got, I had to return right away though. They came with the one of the shoelace hooks attached because whoever was putting them on forgot to put the washer when they're pulling the rivet tight. But when the second pair came in though, they've been holding up. There's no issues with them or anything, so. But those have a Kevlar lining in the bottom underneath your insole to help, prevent against punctures and stuff like that. I haven't had to worry about that, but it's there. So I'm sorry I'm yapping. I'm really trying to get more people to start tuning into my streams. Trying to get people interested because I'm tired of being a how do I put it? I'm tired of being a dead channel, dead to the media infrastructure content creator. My YouTube channel has been stagnant. My Twitch has been stagnant. I'm not affiliate on Twitch because I don't get enough average viewers. I maybe get 2. I'm not affiliate on Twitch at all, which by now I should be to compare the amount of videos I have posted compared to the some of the big creators out there. I've kind of fell behind now on how many videos I've posted, but for the longest time I had more videos than I had subscribers. And I'm gonna catch right back up to that really soon too. Because every stream I do, I basically archive it onto my channel. Every video that I actually do make goes onto my channel. The reason why I archive my streams is because I want people to have something to watch. But also in the future, I plan to have somebody go through my channel, take every stream, edit them down to something actually watchable. Something decently watchable at least. How am I in the same place all over again? Come on. I know that that's gonna help a lot with the Minecraft content streams I've done. Those are pretty boring. Which, speaking of Minecraft, I want to get back into it, but same thing with COD, I'm taking a break from it until I can finish this game, and then I'll be going back into those. Minecraft might be a little longer, but I do plan to pay someone to make a build for me. Because I haven't been able to figure out how to do it myself at all. But it's fine. I don't mind paying to have people do things, or design things for me. That's why I've been so grateful with people that helped me create the music I put out. You know, like my newest song, I did the vocals, and then we just auto-tuned it. I got to redo this race. We just auto-tuned it a bunch. It took like 3 or 4 recordings to me doing the song for it to come out decent enough for auto-tune to actually work. And then I did the video with the captions because so all I did was I took a picture I took at my old job, really nice picture in my opinion, and then I did the captions overlaid. I had to go through and tweak the wording, stuff like that, because most captions are auto done through a lot of editing software. So I had to go through, tweak them, make sure they're lined up right, make sure it's the right words, stuff like that. Background music, I paid somebody to do that for me. Because first I was having mix the song and make it work together, auto-tune it. They couldn't do background music with their equipment for whatever reason, but I don't know, I like the song. I listen to it. It's part of my playlist, so I listen to it all the time. Some of my older songs will pop up my playlist, and I listen to them then. But I will say my most recent song is like the most important one to me. It really got across how I feel. And I don't know if I'm gonna make more songs, at least right now. I might wait a while. Like I might not be producing more until towards the end of the year, if not next year, when I can do the stuff myself. But we'll see. If my channels start taking off, then I'll definitely produce more. But if they don't take off, then I won't. Also, doesn't help that I don't have the PC yet. I'm still just doing all this off my Xbox One. You know, I have my phone open for chat right now. My phone's dying too. Like it's starting to have a lot of issues. Like it's over. I can tell it's getting really hot a lot if I'm using it for certain things. It's auto-closing a lot of apps and stuff if I'm on them too long. The battery's not lasting as long as it should. For a while, I think I might fix it now. It kept detecting, saying that there was moisture in the charge port when there wasn't. So it's nowhere near water or any type of high humidity or anything. Just the other day, I had to take it almost completely apart to detach the battery to force it to shut off and restart because it got froze on the loading screen after restarting it. And it makes sense that it's doing all this type. I bought it right before I got my first job, so that would have been 24. I think I got it at the end of 23. Maybe a little earlier than that, but I can't remember for sure. But you know, it's an older phone now. I wish LG still made phones because I would buy one of their phones. You know, they didn't want to make phones anymore for whatever reason. Like for anyone who hasn't seen yet, Jerry Rig Everything. He's the guy that makes a accessible wheelchair for like go everywhere type of wheelchair. He did a video of a unreleased LG phone. It's called a LG Rollable. At least I think that's what it's called. If that phone came out, I would have bought it. It's such a cool design and it's so unique that I would have bought it. Even if it came out tomorrow, I would probably buy it. As long as, you know, the price was right type of deal. And it sucks too, because I was like, they were working on that phone before they pulled the plug on making phones. Mustang! I've been looking at different phones to get. Since, I need to start looking to get new ones. There's a phone on Amazon. It's by a company called Blackview. It's more of like a heavy-duty type of phone. I think it's called the. I can't remember what it's called. I'll have to look it up. But anyone who actually knows the company would probably know what phone it is. But it has two bright flashlights on the back of it. It has a real big battery bank. It has. It's designed for like camping, working, but not really caring about camera quality. Even though camera quality is probably good. Yeah, it's like a $300 phone, something like that, which would be in my budget for a new phone. I'm not a person to spend $1,000 on a phone at all. But until I get a full-time job where I wait like half a year, I won't be able to buy it. By then, it's probably going to be a new phone that's even better than that comes out. So we'll see. But I've also looked at the newer Revel phones because I currently have the Revel 6. It's REVVL 6. But they currently have a Revel 8 and the Revel 8 Pro out, which is cheaper than the Blackview phone, especially if I get one off of eBay, which you get for about $180. Which I've thought about it, but at the same time, do I want to buy a phone and then in the next 3 years have to get another one all over again? Or would I rather just spend a little bit more money on a different phone that is actually going to last me, and then worry about it after a while? Or do I want to go to a completely different line and, maybe try a Samsung or something? Like with the Blackview phone, the reason why it caught my attention is because it's a rugged phone. And it's perfect for me when I think about, I camp. I want to do more outdoorsy style videos for the second channel. But I'll have to do more research into that company before I think about buying one of their phones. But yeah, right. Oh.
We return to Mazda Raceway Laguna Seca in California and its famous corkscrew at turn 8, one of the world's most challenging corners.
Do I know this map? I think I do. Oh, yep, I know it. Okay. Anyways, enough about new phone and all that fun stuff. I finally have my solar panels outside after not having them outside at all when I bought them last year. Did I buy them last year? Yeah, I bought them last year. Kept them inside, so they never produced that much power at all. So it's like barely enough to even a trickle into the battery. But now that they're outside, I've seen them reach 20 amps of power production, and that's with them facing west. So they get that 20 amps. I gotta restart this. Sorry, too late. They get about that 20 amps of power between about 4 o'clock starting and then ending around 5, 6 o'clock. Maybe it might go a little later than that. But the one day I'm sitting here and I hear extra fans kick on. I'm like, fans kicking on? Where's that coming from? And it was the solar charge controller kicking on the fans because it was starting to produce a decent amount of power. First couple days or even a week, I think, of having panels outside, I was only seeing about an average of 5 amps come from them, which makes sense, you know, because they're not optimized for production at all. When I was looking at it, and then I switched from the voltage to showing how many amps it was producing. It was producing 22 amps. And I was super surprised, but I charged the battery a good amount. But that day, it was on and off. It was on and off that day, producing that amount of power. It was like for between 4 and 5, it was on and off producing about 20 amps. It would go from like 20 amps down to like 13, and then it would jump back up to like 20, and you know, bounce around those ranges for about an hour. And then the day after, it would produce 20 amps for like a solid amount of time. I think it was about 19 amps still. And then, you know, from just so far from there, it's been consistently producing up to 20 amps, if not a little bit above that, consistently between, you know, starting around 4 o'clock and ending whenever it does, which has been super surprising to me. But it's also been charging the battery completely with more than enough power left over to spare. So I will be working on getting a second battery. Now the issue is getting a second battery is the company I bought the first battery from no longer produces the exact battery I bought. They produce a different version now, which is fine. Because you can mix batteries as long as the ages aren't crazy out of whack, and you make sure you charge them and balance them separately. Make sure they're not going to interfere with each other, and then you can hook them together and, you know, use them. You don't have to change your charge controller settings at all. You just gotta make sure you wire them correctly. You know, like for me, I'll be running 12 volt, but obviously if you get two 12 volt batteries, you can run them at 24 volt, which is a little better in the long run for like efficiency. But I'm investing in 12 volt at this point in time until I can afford to upgrade to like a 48 volt system. Because all I'm running right now is a 90. I want to say it's a 1998 mini fridge. It has a Pepsi logo on it from a Danby designer on the front door, and it works. It works really nice. It pulls about 8.5 amps when its kick starts off, and then it'll drop down to about 6.5 amps after about 3 minutes, and then it'll sit around between 6.5 to 7 amps the remaining 2 minutes, depending on, you know, what setting you have it on. So, you know, it draws a good amount of power. You know, kicks on and off throughout time to make sure the temps are where they need to be. Yeah, I like it. I've kept ice cream sandwiches in the small freezer part of it, and, you know, I've had a whole fridge packed full of Arizona teas and stuff. It kind of sucks because it has like one too many shelves, so you can never use that third shelf for anything, unless it's something really skinny, or if you arrange the shelving around, but then you can't optimize the use of the other 2 shelves at all. So a little annoying, but it's not bad. Yeah, the battery runs that like perfectly fine. Throughout the whole night, and then during the day, you know, it still runs it until the solar produces enough power to deal with it, which it starts producing enough power pretty quickly. And then it just lessens to load off the battery during the day. But I also use the battery to charge my phone, to run cooling fans for the Xbox and the battery. But that doesn't. Between the fans and charging my phone, it's less than an amp, so I'm not worried about it. And then I also charge my e-bike batteries off of it during the day. During, you know, solar production, I've charged a 120 watt portable battery off of it. The portable battery was like 86%, so I just plugged it in, let it charge overnight. That was pulling about between 1 amp and 1.5 amps. No, it was like between 1 amp and 1.2 amps. So I wasn't worried about it. Once it was done charging, I didn't draw any more power really. Ooh. And then I've also hooked up my camping fan to it, and with that kicked on full speed, it was drawing about I want to say 0.3 amps, I think. Maybe it was more than that. I can't remember. I'll have to look at it again later. Yeah, and that was with it being at full power. So I'll run that during the day, just to keep more air moving around and stuff. Yeah, so far though, I've been really, really surprised and glad my system I invested in works the way it should be working. And also surprised that it's producing a steady 5 amps in the morning when the panels are in the shade, because they're facing the west side and they're directly in front of my house. They're shaded during the day until about noon, and that's when they start getting some actual light. And then that's when they start producing a bit more. But I plan to, once I get some money put together, I plan to build a wooden frame for them to be on, wooden posts, get them out of my garden. It's currently sitting directly in the garden. Mother's not happy about that, but I'm saving her money by having the panels, so. But yeah, I plan to make a frame out of wood and then drive a couple posts, attach it to the garden type stuff. And with that post, I'm gonna make I'm gonna use about a 2-foot piece on the bottom to draw out a small angle, about 40-degree angle, maybe. Might be a little less than that.
Now we return to Dunsfold Aerodrome for another event on the renowned Top Gear test track.
But that angle should help it produce a bit more power during the day, hopefully. Especially early in the morning. Because at night, once the sun starts getting low, it's just fine producing power. But with the 4 panels, I am technically at the max amperage that the wiring can handle. The max amperage is 30 amps. The panel should be able to produce 30 amps of power at their peak efficiency. So I'm basically there. But my controller is 60 amps. So I can technically get another string of panels, but I would have to switch how I run them and do them in currently they're hooked up in series, which is fine. So I would have to do 2 series and then run those in the parallel so the amps stay low but the voltage gets higher. So that way it doesn't overwhelm the wiring or the charge controller. I'm getting close to my controller right now because I want to look at the thing. Yeah, it's rated at 60 amps of current with a 100 volts. With a max input of 720 watts from the panels. So it's not too bad. I do plan to upgrade that at some point in once I have a place of my own. And I can upgrade everything, but that's something for later. Like once I have the chance to make a schoolie, that's something I've been wanting to do. That's like my ultimate goal type deal. I plan to run solar in that, and that would produce enough power to run the whole bus and fans and AC unit and a heater, which I know is a lot of power, especially depending on what you choose to run in terms of if you're gonna run a really high BTU unit, or a low BTU unit, how many lights you want to run off it, if you're going to run a computer off of it, if you're going to run a bunch of fans, stuff like that. You gotta be very considerate with your power draw when you make your solar system. Otherwise, you could underestimate what you're gonna need. It's always better to overestimate, because then you'll also produce enough power to cover your winter needs. Because in the winter, you usually produce less power. The sun's not at optimal position, it's colder out, stuff like that. So say you're needing 400 watts of power. In the summer, sure, you could run off of 400 watts of panels, okay? But in the winter, you're gonna want closer to 800. In the most optimal position, you're gonna want 1200. But that's just me spewing about solar panels, though, because I like them. I would have a windmill, but currently windmills in a small enough size that they're sustainable for a consumer, don't produce a lot of power. They have a lot of failures to them. They gotta watch out for a lot of different maintenance you gotta watch out for them, stuff like that. But people are working on designing better windmill stuff for consumers. So hopefully in the next couple years we'll see some really cool ones that are actually worth buying and investing in.
We head back to Silverstone Circuit, known as the home of British motor racing.
Oh my, I've been yapping for like 50 minutes now. Holy shit. Sorry about that, if that annoys anybody. I will say, once I get my own place and stuff, I do plan to make more IRL content for the second channel. Right now it's just been videos of my bike and then RCs. But I want to do more of like DIY videos, me building things, my research into things. Maybe things that might technically count as vlogs, but we'll see. Ah, shit. So I do have a video I still need to edit for the second channel anyways. I took the bike out in the woods. You know, it's really muddy and shit, so we'll see. Out of my way. get at least second place this race. Or am I gonna fuck everything up again? And I fucked up. Why does this game hate me? No, if I'll be able to get second like I need to. Okay, and that worked in my favor. Okay. And so did that. Okay. Come on, Mustang! Come on. You got third. Come on. Come on, come on, come on. Yeah, turn too wide. Too wide! And we're not getting second. At least we got third though. Still counts as gold. Oh wait, I'm 7 on the lap. Myself a chance. We're gonna get first. We're gonna get first. All we gotta do is hold first. That's all we gotta do. I think at this point we're pretty solidly in first. We should have no issues. Here's a no Xbox, I still owe you money for live. Shut up. Come on. I mean, let me reset my chat. Because sometimes Twitch likes that goofy.
We return to the hot asphalt of Georgia for an event at Road Atlanta.
Oh, what time is it? It's currently 10:48. Wow. Look at how beautiful that car is. Is that a Barracuda? Yeah, it is. Okay. Must be one of the DLC cars. Which I don't understand why the cars are still locked under DLC when the game is old. I want to say it's 12 years old now. It came out in 2014, didn't it? I don't know. I have to look it up. It might not be that old. It might be a thing of the game. Oh yeah, almost forgot. I'm going to be starting the candle for every stream again. Because I just made a large like candle. It originally looked like a birthday cake until I added more wax to it. But yeah, I made a pretty big candle, and I'm gonna start doing a picture of before and after stream. You know, it's something for chat to interact with. You know, and it'll track how long I've been streaming based on the candle. You know, something slightly interesting that I've done before. Before it was a tin can, well, like soup can, that I made into a candle. This time it is a camping pot that I've made into a candle. And the way I make candles is I reuse wax from old candles. I use wax from wax melts that have lost their smell, or the smell has, you know, lessened its strength, stuff like that. Also just repurpose full-size candles that I just don't like them being just a regular candle. I like to melt them down into things to make them not only safer to burn, but easier to transport. Stuff like that. Also makes them better for emergencies too, because I do use candles in emergencies. With this candle being a camping pot, made in a camping pot, once I find the lid for it, it would actually, well, I don't need a lid for it, but it actually works well to go with camping. You know, this one will be dedicated to stream. I can always remake it once it's gone. It'll take a while, how big it is. it for camping and stuff like that. I would never use that pot again for cooking. Because I already have a really good one that I have specifically for. Yeah, I'll be starting that back up soon. I'm currently just waiting on some of the that way the wicks will burn better. I did pour a little bit too much wax in it. Then again, I also use like regular birthday candles as the wicks. So I was pouring wax after I filtered it because it was all like nasty. It was full of soot and other stuff. So I filtered it using paper towel to use as fire starter. Paper towel does soak up some of the wax, but it also soaks up all the contaminants in the wax, like soot, any carbon chunks, you know, if you have any dust in it, glitter, stuff like that. But yeah. Yeah, as I was pouring in the wax, I poured in a bunch of it. I stuck it in the freezer for a second, just so the bottom and and a little bit of the sides could get cooled off a bit quicker. And then I took 4 like regular birthday candles and I stuck those in the slightly hardened wax after I bit in the bottom of them into like a J shape, more of an L. Yeah, I stuck those in there, and then I just let it cool with them in. So they're not perfectly straight up and down. They're not like the correct type of wicks you should be using for a candle like this, but they are budget and DIY friendly. The only thing you gotta worry about, especially if you're doing it the way I did, you worry about them falling over, about them being trapped under too much wax, stuff like that. But yeah, I don't know. I think they turned out okay. If I were to do it again, though, I would probably invest in actual wicks for them. Like, I would actually go ahead and buy a candle wick set that comes with the wick holders. I don't have any of those. Which I will be buying that at some point because I do need to redo one special candle that I made. Right now it's a layered candle, but I gotta remelt it all down, filter it, so it won't be layered anymore. But I currently have a wick out of a kerosene lamp in it, but those burn fuel too quickly for a candle. Gotta restart this race. So they smoke a lot, so I gotta redo that one. But it's in a Crown Royal candle. Well, Crown Royal bottle that I've turned into a candle after I found it out in the woods. So that is something I like to do. I like to repurpose things. I'm gonna restart this cutting in gold. Oh, I thought I started the race. Ooh, my bad. And then I wasn't paying attention. God damn it. I'm stupid. Excuse me. Woo! Damn it. Of course, I'm breaking everything. Of course, I'm trying to do two things at once right now. I commissioned someone to make me a sweatshirt, so I'm trying to respond to them while also doing this race. Okay. Damn it. Which once I get the sweatshirt, I will be making a post on all my socials. Not because they ask, but because I think English. I think they will deserve it. And I think they'll appreciate it too. Come on. I'm doing a lot better this race than the last one. That's for sure. God damn it. So glad this is a video game, not real life. I guess that is the point of video games. So you can enjoy playing, doing things like racing, stuff like that without wasting billions of dollars on wrecking your cars, modifying them, stuff like that. Oh, I saved it. I didn't save my speed, but out of my way! Ooh, ooh, ooh. Okay, yeah, I'm doing a lot better this race than the last one. Oh no, they're gaining on me! No, not the slick grass, no! Anyone who's never played this game before or hasn't seen the previous streams, the grass on this specific part of this specific track is like black ice. You can't stop on it at all. Damn it. Lost all the speed. All of it. No, you're not getting past me. Nope. looks like I've gotten first place this time, so I think we have 4 more races, I think. I know it should be close to that. Oh shit. I win. Ooh, Forza 50. Oh, I was right.
We now return to one of the oldest racetracks in the United States,
Oh,
Sebring International Raceway.
I'm running out of W. Well, not the mix, but what I have made. It's okay, that was good. And I know I still have a whole nother cup I can safely drink, so. So anyone who doesn't know, you're limited to about 4, no. You're limited to about 300 milligrams of caffeine for a healthy adult per day. Even though a lot of people drink way above that. And then they wonder why they have so many issues. Yeah, W is about 150 per scoop. I drink 2 scoops per cup. But knowing me, I can drink one more and be fine. And technically split between 2 days anyways. But I'm probably going to just stick to 1 cup for today. Between the 2 days, if I get the full-time job, I have to be up and out the door. Well, I gotta be up around 6, and then out the door by about 6:30, so that way I can get there early. So that way, if there's any issues, I can, deal with them, stuff like that. Why am I fucking up so badly? Oh, I just realized what race this is. I've never been on this track before, though. Huh. At least not this version of the track. If I have been on like this general track, I don't recognize it at all. Ah, shit. How you about to be faster than me? Remember the same fucking car. How does that make any damn sense? Oh, okay. Ah, pot of gold. Or 150 gold medals. Ooh, okay. I didn't know I was anywhere even close to that. It's also making me realize that there's so many more achievements for this game than I thought.
We travel back to Wisconsin for another event at historic Road America, where the layout has remained unaltered for more than 50 years.
Oh shoot, so this game's older than I thought. It came out in 2013. Wow. But they still sell it, like as brand new copies and stuff. Huh. Okay. So that would make the game 13 years old. I wonder if any of the newer versions of Forza Motorsport will work on Xbox One. Like 6, 7, 8. I think 8 was the newest one I saw. Wait, no, I think I've seen 11 and 12. But I know after a certain point, they stopped making games for the older console, compatible with the older console. So they only produce them for the newer ones. I'd have to look into it. So far, like unless I can, get like a different genre of racing games that's not Need for Speed, because I know a lot of people like Need for Speed. Don't get me wrong, so decent game. I don't like it. I don't. And I'm pretty sure that's only for the PlayStation, anyways. Yeah, I wonder if there's any other games, like big racing games, I can get for the Xbox that are actually good and not just like small demos or something that never went anywhere. Come on. Why is it hot in here? Is my fan going? Turn that fan. It's currently reading 76 degrees here, so it's not terribly hot, but for me, I like it to be a bit cooler when I'm playing games, so my body starts to heat up a bit more than it usually does. Let me in! Ooh, T-top. T-top. I have a T-top in my driveway. Say, ooh, I don't remember what year. I think it's I want to say 80. I think it's late 80s, early 90s. I think Camaro. It's not my car. It's my mother's. The original color is red, like a plain red. But it was they had it painted, like just painted over in a sparkly purple. The only reason why I know it's red is because some of the paints start chipping around some of the the door trims on the driver's side. I think the red color that's showing, it looks like it would have been a very boring color anyways. So it was cool that it was painted purple, because I love purple. Ooh, I bet you it'd probably be expensive to get it resprayed in that same purple. do know though the car that needs a little bit of work. Like right now, it needs a. Like it would benefit from a new battery, but the battery really just needs to be charged outside of the car. And then I know it needs a new seal around the back window. That seal, I'm pretty sure that seal is original to the car, so it's cracking and failing, which is causing a electrical short somewhere in the back of the car that's draining the battery. So it's not like a short that's gonna catch the car on fire and burn it down, but it's enough of a short to drain the battery over time. I know it needs a new passenger side front tire. It's always leaking air. It would probably benefit it if it just had some stop leak in it. And besides that, it's a really clean car. Last I knew, it was rust free, like completely rust free. Even the undercarriage was clean. There's no visible rust on the body itself. The engine bay is clean. You know, like it was a really well kept car. I believe it was garage kept, where it was given to my mother. But it wasn't driven much, that's why it was given to her. It sucks too, though. She only drives it sometimes. Right now she can't anyways, because it's dead. The battery's dead. But, you know, with it being an older car and a muscle car, it drinks gas, so she can't daily it anyways. Otherwise, she probably would. If she did that, she'd probably give me her current daily, which is it's a 98 Subaru Legacy Outback. It's a nice little car. I would love to have that car. It has some issues that need to be worked on, like it needs CV joints. That's about $150 part. If you take it to the shop, though, you're probably spending closer to $300 to get that, done. But it's a pretty simple thing to do yourself, so I would do it myself. Even though I've never done that before, I would look up how to do it, and I would just go from there. Just like with anything else. The only reason why I would look it up to see how to do it is because I wouldn't want to fuck it up. Like, badly by just doing it. That's not always the thing that's going to happen, but it is something to be, be mindful of. And then it also needs a driver's side fog light. It also needs a fog light lens because it has cracks, which I think shattered the bulb. But yeah, besides that in that car, it's runs really well. I mean, I think it needs a general tune-up, and maybe some gaskets replaced. Simple things, the common things for an older car like that. It needs the driver's side front door seal reattached because the clips for the bottom part of the seal have disappeared, so it just hangs there. When you close the door, you got to actually kind of slam it shut a little bit. Otherwise, it won't close all the way. But small things.
The next event is at the man-made paradise of Yas Island and the Yas Marina Circuit.
Like, if I were to get the car, I would want to put a slightly more powerful motor in it. Like one that has a better get up and go than what's in it already. But what's in it, it's pretty slow to get up to speed. And then it doesn't do well on with highway speeds. It does really well for regular commuter speeds, anything like 50 and below. It does pretty well, but I would also put a bigger gas tank in it too. So it only has a 15-gallon tank. I would want something like maybe a 20-25-gallon tank. But that's just me. I would also like to see that car be electric. It's light enough to do that, where you could easily convert it to electric. Yeah, I think you just have to figure out what size. You have to do measurements on the gas tank, and then you can either make or get a custom-made battery pack that'll fit in the exact same spot as the original gas tank. You might have to you'll probably have to do some reinforcements in that area. You might have to even stiffen up like the shocks and stuff, which whatever. But you'd be able to do as long as you had the knowledge to do it. You can do direct drive with motors. You can do probably just do a direct electric motor swap into where the original motor already is. Let's pull that out, put a new one in, even use the original transmission, connect it right to that. So that way you still have all your gears. Which I think would be a cool idea. The thing that sucks though is like I know how I can make pretty much anything electric, but the cost of making it electric outweighs it quite a bit. What else sucks about that is like I can get a roller chassis, a roller car, no motor in it. Maybe it has a trans, maybe it doesn't. And I could easily make it electric if I had the money. So I can get a $400 roller, probably. I know I can get one for $1,000, but then you at that. Once you have it, you have to think about, well, what does it need? Does it need an interior? Does it need any extra parts like drive shafts, brakes, rotors, fuel lines, brake lines? Does it need a master and slave cylinders? Does it need a radiator? Does it need all this stuff? And then from there, maybe you're putting another $500 into it for that stuff, depending on how hard it is to get the parts, how expensive they are, what all and stuff like that. But after you have all that said and done, now if you want to do electric, you're spending probably $1,000, if not more, on getting a battery for it. It would have to be a custom battery. Either you're making it or you're paying someone to make one for you. You would have to figure out the speed controller that's going to actually work for us. It's going to allow. Well, you have to figure out the battery. The motor first for the controller, or motors, depending how you want to do it. That's probably $1,000 in a motor, if not more there. And then from there, you have to size the motor controller. Are you going to do one that is rated for the amount that the motor's going to draw? Are you going to go slightly above it, so you have a little extra room there? Are you going to invest in cooling for it? Are you going to just try to do direct air cooling? Are you going to invest into it being waterproof, or are you just never going to drive in the rain to keep it under cover? Are you going to be able to do the wiring at all yourself, or are you going to have to pay somebody to do that for you? Are you going to be able to? Do you have the ability to run fuses for it? Make sure those are all done right. Are you going to be able to wire in your own regulator for the power, so that way you can still run 12-volt stuff in the car, or are you going to have to pay someone else to wire in the regulator for you? It's a lot of costs that you can put into it. So you can go from $1,000 car to being $20,000 before you're done, just because they price everything so expensive, and then count and labor costs if you're paying somebody to do it and stuff like that. For me though, I would do it all myself. And I've thought about, since I don't have a car right now, it's going to be hard for me to get one. I've thought about making my own electric vehicle, and then I started looking into the cost of things. To get a complete electric drive kit for, I think it was a go-kart. Like one that's actually decently powerful, it's not a little wimpy thing. It's like $1,500. At that point, I might as well just get a car. I also looked at doing like, hub motor bike wheels on like basically a go-kart frame that's enclosed and follows regulations, so I can actually get it insured and then plated and all that stuff. I would have to do all 4 wheels, and those wheels are about 500 apiece. That's $1,000. That's not including a controller or battery or batteries to power it. So it's a lot of things that I want to do are in my price range. They're definitely within my wheelhouse. I know enough about electrics to where I would feel comfortable messing with these things. Even messing with high voltage and high amperage and stuff like that. But I just don't have the money to do it. Which is really like the biggest reason why I want and hope for my channels to take off. So I can get noticed by people and companies that have money and are willing to invest in projects and stuff like that, so I can do these things, even if it's a one-off. Like, there's a project I'm dying to start, and it's making a 1/10th scale Antarctic snow cruiser, which would be massive, a massive RC. So if you don't know, the original Antarctic snow cruiser got lost in the Arctic. Don't remember which year, but basically it got so bad that they had to leave it there, and then it was used for a little while, but then they just completely abandoned it. And it was abandoned so long that it got covered and buried by snow and ice, and no one charted down where it was last at, so it's just gone. It's just gone. I believe somebody took it, but who actually knows? Or should we gotta redo this race because I didn't get gold? It could actually just still be there because I know there's a lot of issues with it. Which I do hope that one day it can be found, and hopefully it's not too bad and can be put in a museum or maybe restored and used again. Yeah, the 110 version would be, like, if I were to stand up on the back end of it, it would be over 6 feet tall, if I remember correctly. But, like, I want to make a 110 version for myself. It's like super crazy. It can do the same stuff the full size thing did. Like, at least for the most part. But then from there, I want to scale it down to like technically a 1/20 scale, or even smaller than that, I think. Which would still be huge, in the terms of actual RC scaling. Because if I scale it correctly to RCs, it would be massive. Within every field that it would fit in, if it is scaling correctly. But yeah, I've worked on it a little bit, like just making concepts of certain things just for my own visual needs. Like, I did do the 110 body, or at least the general size of it at one point. I just used a bunch of cardboard boxes, glued them together. Standing on its end, it was almost as tall as my ceiling in my bedroom. And then I did the wheels out of cardboard. I believe I still have the wheel. Maybe I don't. I can't remember. I might have tore it apart and gotten rid of it. But that was, hot glue cardboard. That wheel was heavy like that. Like, real heavy. Well, that was another challenge. I would have to have custom-made wheels for it. Just because of how massive they are. Or I would have to come up with my own mounting system or something for them. Using already pre-made wheels that aren't heavy. Or they could be heavy, but, whatever. That's another challenge for the whole thing. Yeah, I've thought about it a lot. I've put a lot of work into doing measurements and stuff like that. I have to find that chat again, and then I gotta review the measurements and stuff. But, that is a project I do plan on doing one day, and completing and making it something I can sell. And obviously it's a smaller version, not the 110 version, to people for hopefully reasonable price. Because if I were to ever try and sell the 110 version, it would be expensive, like 20 grand. I'd be expensive, if not more. The other thing about it would be 4 massive motors, because it's motor per wheel. It would be pretty massive servos, because you have to be able to lift each individual wheel up and down. That's how the original one worked. The inside would be detailed as close as I could get it, or pay somebody to get it. Like, yeah, there would be so much work put into it that it would be extremely expensive, and barely anyone would be able to buy it. And no one would really want to buy it, so it would probably take a whole year to build each one. I don't know. Like I've said before in streams, I have so many different projects I've wanted to do. Things I've started and haven't finished, or I started and given up on, and I still have a monster truck RC project that I've started. I haven't given up on it, but I've just stepped away from it for a little bit because finding the correct motor for it has been a pain. It's a very niche size motor that I have to find a water pump to get the motor for it. And then I have to figure out a pinion gear for it. So the original pinion gear was just stuck on the motor. The reason why I have to replace the stock motor is because it was junk. It wouldn't power the truck at all. So it's originally a Kyosho PT Cruiser, but I put a 110 military vehicle. I can't remember which vehicle it was. But it was a 110 6x6 military body on it. And then I put a 25 kg servo in it, which I had to do the steering links for that and stuff, because it was missing one originally. And then I'm using a completely different steering system than the original, because the original had a servo, but it was like a 10 wire servo, like old. I did invest in some headlights and taillight ports. Those are in it. I did have a ESC in it at one point, to mess with it. That's how I found out the motor is bad. I had it all working at one point, but then the motor was just done. So I might be able to put something else in it that's not a water pump motor, but I have to figure out the sizing. Actually, now that I realize that, I have calipers now. I can actually size everything properly. I could probably get a good motor for it. The thing is, though, I can't go overpowered because the main drive gear in it, that's not the pinion, what would technically be your spur gear, it's specifically for that truck. So I would have to get it custom print it to fit the way it does, and also because it's just axle, your spur gear, and then axle. But the spur gear actually sits. The axle sit into the spur gear, so it's not removable. It's not easily changeable or anything like that. So I would have to get I would have to have someone 3D scan it, or maybe just take a bunch of measurements and have them 3D print it, or design it in 3D printing software, then 3D print it with 100% infill. Like, yeah.
we return to Prague, a city famous for its imposing and magnificent architecture.
Like, just making that would be expensive in itself. I mean, it probably wouldn't be too insanely expensive. It'd probably be like $60 per gear. But that's not bad price for a pretty much a one-off rare thing like that. But I would have to buy a couple of them. I would have to buy at least two, at least, or I would have to buy the 3D printing file from the person that made the file for me. I wouldn't want it for free. I'm not that kind of person. I would morally have to pay them, and then I'd be able to print as many as I want. But you know, the initial cost for it would be pretty high, and it would be a painful process to do it, I think. To me, though, it'd be worth it if I were to put a powerful motor in it and stuff, but it doesn't need that. It's a rear-wheel drive monster truck. It doesn't need to be insane. I mean, it just uses friction spring shocks in it anyways. I can't upgrade those because they use a proprietary snap-in-place design. But then again, I got probably 3D print something that would snap in place and I put oil ones on it, but that's getting too intricate for I want to say late 90s, early 2000s RC that I'm trying to keep alive. I mean, I would have the whole thing completely stock if I had a controller. But I didn't have a controller for it when I got it. My father found it in the trash years and years ago without the controller, but he grabbed it anyways and kept it. And then he was cleaning out his garage a couple years ago, I want to say about 6 years ago. He found it and he asked me if I wanted it, and I said yeah. So I've kept it, you know, I've put some work into it, but it's just been staying on my shelf for a while because I haven't gotten the replacement motor yet. I kind of forgot about it too, about getting the motor. That's why I was like, oh yeah, digital calipers, I can just do the measurements and get one. But, yeah. If I get that up and going, I will be making, post about it. I will make a video of me, you know, running it and stuff. So the thing is, I've never seen anyone else have the 6x6 that I took the body from. And I've tried looking for the 6x6, so I want to buy another one. The thing is, when I bought it, I think I paid $60 for it. But it performed like it was a $200 RC. It really did. But then I broke the front drive gear by being stupid. I was running it forward and then stopping and doing that a couple times, but then I also smacked into a curb really hard. Full speed. They had pretty good top speed. I was like, I want to say about 20 miles an hour. But I sold the chassis a couple years ago. Which, now that I think about it, you know, I regret it, but it's okay. But yeah, no, I've tried finding the RC again so I can buy another one, because I want another one. I really do. But I can't find it anywhere. I think I found it on a couple sites, but it said no longer, well, not in stock or no longer available. I gotta look on. I'm gonna look on AliExpress later, and then I'm gonna look on what's the other site? You got AliExpress. Oh, Alibaba. I gotta look on there later too. See if I can find it. If I can find it on either one of those sites, that'll be awesome. I don't care if I have to buy 10 of them. I will. They're just cool. And I think they're well made for what they are. Yeah, it just sucks that they no longer sell them. Like, no company has kept them going on in in production for sale outside of maybe Alibaba or AliExpress, which I still have to check, so you might not make them at all anymore. And it sucks too, though. After I sold the chassis like a year after, I realized I could have gotten a new drive gear for the front. I could have put it back together and continued playing with it, like nothing happened. The only reason I stopped playing with it because of the front drive gear, which would be front drive shaft, wasn't there, so it didn't perform as well anymore. It didn't crawl or anything like it used to. I mean, it still do pretty good, but you'd have to really try and get it to crawl, or you'd have to run it backwards. I believe the person I sold it to was supposed to make a half track with it or something. They claimed to be an engineer and they were going to do it for their son. I think I only asked $10 for it or something. Now looking at that, I asked way too little. But they were supposed to send me a picture or something of once it was done, but they never did. I think I contacted them 2 years ago asking if they ever did anything with it. Never got a response, but that's okay. If I can't find it though, I will be making a post asking if anyone has one that I could buy. I'm not kidding, I want another one. And at some point, I do plan to buy WPL RCs again. I've had a couple. I've had a B14, a B16, and then a C14. I still have the cab for the B14, the B16, and the C14. I think I even have the bed for the C14. I know I have it for the B16. I might have it for the B14. I'm not sure, but and then I have random axles and wheels, but I don't have enough parts to put them back together. They would be more so just spare parts. But yeah, I plan to get all 3 of those, and even more at some point down the road, so I can redo them and stuff. But yeah, hopefully I can get the B14 soon because they're getting rid of the metal kit for it, which I want the metal kit. So, all right, since we just finished the American Motorsport, the next stream we'll be doing the Super Minis, since it says cars affordable, because we won't be able to do the racing icons until later on once we have the funds to get a car. And I don't want to click on it because it'll go through the whole pre-roll, and I don't want to ruin that right now. Yeah, next stream we'll do the Super Minis, and then if we can, we'll do the icons. If we can't, we will be doing... Which one should we do next? We will do... I don't know why it says championship series complete on all of them. Makes no sense. Ooh, those are really cool cars. We can only afford 2 different ones. What one should we do after that? If we can't get the... Yeah, so I'm looking at all these. Those are newer cars too. What about this one? That's just exotics. Okay, so we might do exotics, and if we can't finish the vintage off, we'll do exotics, and then we'll come back and finish the racing icons. But yeah, for now though, that'll be it for today's stream. Let me pull up my things. We are gonna raid somebody. Let's see. Who is live right now? Let's see. Iron Mouse is live, but why are we gonna raid her? She's a big streamer. She doesn't need our raid. First Ghost Leah has 18 viewers. Local Mario has 6. He looks like he's playing Fortnite. Queso's live, but again, he wouldn't care, so I'm not gonna do that. Go D1 is live with 3 viewers. But they're also 18 plus. I don't know if we have all 18 plus here. I don't recognize them either, so I don't know why I'm following them. No, we're gonna go ahead and raid Leah. We've raided them before. They're really cool. They're playing Honest Heart at New Vegas. Oh, okay, they're playing Fallout New Vegas, so I'm going to go ahead and raid them. But thank you guys for stopping today's stream, and make sure you let me know what you think. And yeah, I'll see y'all later.